All right, welcome once again to the BeatZillaPDX official news break. And this is about to gas or not to gas. If you know, there's been some articles to come out speaking about a new gas burner ban from Joe Biden. Now, some people are saying that that's not necessarily true. There was an article that came out earlier today from the AP. However, though, we can take all of these reports with a grain of salt. However, that's why we're talking about to gas or not to gas is the question. This is the gas burner gate. Now, as you see, is the picture on the bottom. That's actually Jill Biden using her gas burner. Now, some people say, "Oh, well, this is not what's going on," but I just want to talk about or play this clip real quick from AOC, who chimed in on this topic.
I do think it's funny, the absolute utter Republican meltdown where they're like, you can take my gas stove or my cold dead hands, or how dare you talk about gas stoves? You have a gas stove. First of all, I rent, period. Second of all, though, it doesn't even matter, because by that logic, these are the same people who would have said we should have never gotten rid of leaded gasoline. Just because someone may have driven a gasoline car. Science evolves and gives us new knowledge with time.
Okay, so that sounds like it's fairly serious, right? And what she was referring to was this photo, to which shows her and all of these other Democratic people using gas burners. And for those of you who actually cook seriously, you know that cooking on gas burners is probably the best, fastest cooking that we know of. Now, a lot of people will vouch for these new fangled contraptions, but some of us just still like the old school. We like to be able to use our old handed, passed down through the family cast iron and stuff like that. But let me read this article from the AP, because it basically is coming in saying fact, focus, Biden administration isn't banning gas stoves. Well, let's see. The Biden administration has come under fire this week due to overcooked fears that it is planning a nationwide ban on gas stoves. The claim was sparked by comments from a Consumer Product Safety Commission official published Monday that, quote, any option is on the table when it comes to regulating gas stoves amid growing health concerns over the appliances. In the days after, discussion online evoked images of government dragging 4 burners, cooktops from homes, as social media users shared memes of gas stoves with texts like, "Don't tread on me." Of course, we know where that particular phrase comes from as well. Quote, "I'll never give up my gas stove. If the maniacs in the White House come for my stove, they can pry it from my cold dead hands. Come and take it." Unquote. Conservative Texas GOP Representative Ronnie Jackson said on Twitter Thursday. But officials insist that people's kitchen appliances are in no danger. Here's a closer look at the fact claim that the Biden administration is planning to ban gas stoves nationwide. It says fact. The White House says President Joe Biden would not support a ban, and the commission and independent agency says no such ban is in the works. I just also got to remember, Joe Biden is also the same person that said he believed that marriage was between a man and a woman. So just keep that in mind. Quote, "I am not looking to ban gas stoves at the CPSC has no proceeding to do so." CPSC Chair Alex Hohen-Sarek said in a statement on Wednesday. The notion that the government may regulate some stoves out of existence in the future isn't totally baseless. In the interview published Monday by Bloomberg News, Richard Trumka Jr., a CPSC commissioner, who was nominated to the post by Biden, and as concerns that the gas stoves emit dangerous levels of toxic chemicals, was quoted saying, quote, "Any option is on the table," unquote. Products that can be made safe can be banned, or that can't be made safe can be banned. Ah, boy, oh boy. However, Trump could tweeted later that day to clarify that he was talking about regulations on new products. To be clear, CPSC isn't coming for anyone's gas stoves, he wrote. Regulations apply towards new products. Despite this news of potential gas stove ban continue to spread in headlines and on social media. Some users, including Senator Ted Cruz, a Republican from Texas, shared an old photo of First Lady, and they made sure to call it an old photo, share an old photo of Jill Biden cooking on the gas stove, suggesting hypocrisy. And of course, you see that right there on your screen, as well with Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, and AOC. The federal government has no business telling American families how to cook their dinner. I can tell you that the last thing that would ever leave my house is the gas stove that we cook on, West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin tweeted Tuesday. The White House responded by distancing itself from Trump's comments. Quote, "The president does not support banning gas stoves," unquote. The White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who I say Shea Pierre, said at the press briefing on Wednesday. And the Consumer Product Safety Commission, which is independent, is not banning gas stoves. The CPSC is studying gas stoves emissions and ways to address potential health risks, and is seeking public input on the issue in the spring. What do y'all think about that? I just can't, again, let me read this next quote I see here. It says, the chairman, or quote, "The chairman's statement makes it explicit what we are planning and what we are not planning," unquote, Spring said. Again, another quote, "Anything otherwise said is to the contrary." So they're really trying to go out of their way to double down on the wording. But what have we known of Joe Biden and his so-called stances before? Right? I mean, what about this one? What about this particular stance of Joe Biden? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You might want to judge for yourself and judge accordingly. But, it seems to me like when you hear stuff like this going down, usually there's an industry that can make money. What are those new stovetops they talk about? Was it convection or whatever? Those are the ovens. These new tops that they got, they only heat up when a certain pot is on it and it's magnetic. I think that this might be a move in that direction, because who knows where those investments are going. So every time I see stuff like this, it's like, okay, who are the people hopping on the phone calling their stockbroker doing this? There's always someone making money off of misery in America. Now, this is saying we're going to mess with your food. Now, one more time before we go, listen to this.
I do think it's funny, the absolute utter Republican meltdown where they're like, "You can take my gas stove or my cold dead hands," or "How dare you talk about gas stoves? You have a gas stove." First of all, I rent, period. Second of all, though, it doesn't even matter, because by that logic, these are the same people who would have said we should have never gotten rid of leaded gasoline. Just because someone may have driven a gasoline car. Science evolves and gives us new knowledge with time.
Correct. Very correct. That is true. But one thing about that is listen to what she's saying and then listen to what they're saying, distancing themselves from this actually being true. But let me just read further down in this article and what it says. Researchers found that gas stoves in California are leaking cancer-causing benzene, while other studies determine that U.S. gas stoves are contributing to global warming by putting 2.6 million tons of methane in the air each year, even when turned off. There is good evidence that the gas stoves emit harmful levels of oxides of nitrogen, which is known to cause asthma, said Dr. Aaron Bernstein, interim director of the Center for Climate, Health, and Global Environment at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Some federal lawmakers have called the commission to address the potential health risks through regulation, such as requiring that gas stoves be sold with range hoods to improve ventilation, or ensuing mandatory performance standards for gas stoves to address the health impacts of hazardous emissions. Some local governments have moved to ban new buildings from using natural gas, such as San Francisco and Berkeley, California. Well, then in essence, you are also banning gas stoves. But they're saying Joe Biden hasn't said that yet. Well, of course not, because you're already working in a test market, which is Nancy Pelosi's district. What a coincidence. What we know is that gas stoves release air pollutants that are absolutely known to be harmful, Bernstein said. And the part that's harder to get clarity on is how much exposure are people getting in their homes. That's interesting. That's very interesting. This is a part of AP's effort to address widely shared misinformation, including work with outside companies and organizations to add factual context to misleading content that is circulating online. So basically, AP is saying they're coming out to do damage control by saying, hey, nobody's getting rid of gas burners, but we still see the talk about gas being banned altogether in the matter of two California cities. And San Francisco is no small place. Now, remember, I also did a video yesterday based in San Francisco with that so-called business owner that was hosing down the homeless woman. Do you all know that the police have started protecting that man's business? So you will protect that man's business who will attack the homeless, but won't do anything for the homeless. Good going, San Francisco. So again, being also the place to where they're starting to ban the use of natural gas. Just listen to what I'm saying. They're banning the use of natural gas in San Francisco in new construction, meaning going forward, there would be a lot of people who only know electric heat and electric cooking. Those are for robots. That's not really made for the rest of the general public of people who use cast iron and cooking grease. We cook often. We wash our meat. We wash our poultry. We don't just open up the package and put it on into the oven. We don't do that. We take better care of our food. And that gas stove is one of the ways of preparing a faster meal, especially if you have a family and you want to hurry up and get dinner done. There is nothing else that can get your food done fast as a gas burner. So with that being said, family, I just wanted to bring you this little story real quick. As you see, we are talking about gas burner gate. That's what I call this one. To gas or not to gas, that is the question. So, and Joe Biden, of course, he has one himself, but yeah, that's what's going down. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this little video. Please like and share. Subscribe to this channel if you've not already done so, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime that this channel goes live. So with that being said, always be sure to tune in Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesday, of course, for the midday or midweek report, and then Fridays for the weekly wrap up. So with that being said, y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Enjoy. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first. Shalom, y'all.